Ham Radio 2.0 episode 134. That should be what it says down there unless I post these out of order again, which I've been known to do that. Good afternoon. Gosh, it's been so long since I've been in front of the camera. It seems like I have. It seems like it's been a long time. The video, I didn't post a video last week. The one I posted the week before that was recorded a month or so ago. And then the 2 or 3 videos prior to that one were all done at Hamfests. I had a really good time at the Rain, Louisiana Hamfest and also the Greater Houston Hamfest. That was my first time to ever attend the Hamfest in Rain and Greater Houston. I've been there the last 2 or 3 years. That's always a good show. Unfortunately, they didn't have as many people at the Greater Houston Hamfest this year because they're still kind of recuperating from Hurricane Harvey that went through there last fall, around Labor Day last year. A little bit, well, end of August, something like that last year. So go back and watch that episode. We talk about that a little bit out there. So, but it's all good stuff. So, all right. So everybody's been asking me, who's the winner? Who's the winner? I need to announce the winner of this Texas Digital Radio. Let me zoom out. This Texas Digital TDR 6100 that I gave away, or I am giving away. I haven't sent it out yet, obviously. This is the radio. It's brand new in the box. So this is a monoband UHF DMR and analog radio. It's basically the same radio as the CS800. I don't think it has a programming cable in the box with it. Let me check. Discontinued them. I have one of these in my car, right? Actually, my pilot car. No, it doesn't have a. You'll have to get a programming cable from Connect Systems. It's the same programming cable as the CS800. Or if you already have one of these, then if you have a friend with one. But I don't have a programming cable for it, but it's got everything else. Everything else in there is brand new. The camera keeps fading because it's reading all the white on this box. So I didn't have a. I had a lot of comments on the video that I said go to my website at livefromthehamshack.tv and comment on the video on the post at livefromthehamshack.tv instead of on the YouTube. I had a lot of people still comment on YouTube, but I'm taking all the comments from the website and tallying those up, and I'm going to pick someone from there. I didn't really have anyone that stood out very far to me this time the way I did the last 2 or 3 giveaways. No one that said, I just got my license, or no one that said, oh, I'm only 14 years old, you know, something like that. That's usually kind of somewhat I try to pick. So I'm just going to throw everyone's name into a bucket this time and count them up, and I'm going to pick a number between 1 and however many it is and do a random number selection this time. So let's do that. So as you can see, scroll over here to the actual website. It was episode 130 for 10,000 subscribers on YouTube. That was the purpose of the giveaway. And I'm real happy with that. I'm still real happy with that. In fact, I didn't really mean to take so long to do this drawing for who's going to get the radio, but with traveling to Hamfest and everything else that's going on, I just hadn't got around to it, really. And it's almost time. Here in about 3 weeks, it'll be time to celebrate my 3rd year anniversary. May 2nd, 2018 will be 3 years since I put up the first episode. That's actually the second episode. The second episode, I'll explain all that later. I've explained that in previous anniversary episodes. I'll explain it again in this upcoming episode. Anyway, May 2nd will be 3 years since I officially launched Ham Radio 2.0, and I'll be doing another giveaway at that point in time. Don't know what yet. Probably don't know what yet. I haven't decided. So 10,800 subscribers right now. You can see almost to the 11,000 mark. Not quite. That's okay. It's going. But so you can see I had 57 people comment. If you go right here, right there, 57 responses to 10,000 subscribers on YouTube. So we're going to do random number generator. Just going to Google it. Pretty easy. between 1 and 57. So, very diplomatic. Or democratic. Is it diplomatic or democratic? It's probably both. It's very, very fair. So, because this is just a random number generator from Google that for between 1 and 57, and that does not count the, I only replied to one. Here's one comment where I replied, boom. So, number 1 will be this one at the top here, because they go in chronological order. So this Reed Lanham was the first to comment on March 5th, and the last one to comment was Stefan Lonis on April 1st. So those weren't even about, but that's okay. It doesn't matter. So from March 5th to April 1st, I've got comments on this video. So okay, so here it goes. And let's see. Generator. I'm gonna look like this. So I'm clicking the dial. Number 10. Number 10 won it. I just started clicking a bunch of times. I just let it go. Number 10. So wait a minute. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Dewey Courage. Congrats. Fairly new ham here. That's good. January 18th, 2018. Been watching a YouTube channel for a few months. Been using an MD380. Drive about 1,000 miles a week. Been working on mobile radio for a work van. Can't afford one yet, though. Harrisburg, Pennsylvania. KC3 KPE. Kilo Papa Echo. Dewey Courage. KC3 KPE. You have won this, the Texas Digital Radio. 45-watt UHF monoband DMR and analog mobile radio. Congratulations. Contact me. I'll shoot. Hopefully you're good on QRZ. I'll try to find your email address on QRZ. Shoot you an email here at the end of this video. And we'll go from there. I'll send you this radio. So thanks to all who are watching. So let's get to the reason we're all here today.
Today's episode of Ham Radio 2.0 is brought to you by Gifts for Hams. Find their website at www.gifts4hams.com. Get your call sign or club logo engraved on virtually anything you want. Specializing in ham radio-related gift ideas, Gifts for Hams is your one-stop shop for lighted call sign displays, coffee mugs, coasters, drinking glasses, smartphone cases, and so much more. Shop gifts4hams.com and tell them Ham Radio 2.0 sent you.
1, 2. My air conditioner's running in the back. It's actually hot in Texas. Go figure. So now that that's over, we're going to get to the reason that we're all actually here today, and that's to compare the RFinder M1 to the new RFinder K1. Okay? Right there. Let's see if I can click. I should have put up this episode a long time ago. I've had this K1 for a couple of months. I've been using it as my daily carry device for about a month, maybe about 6 weeks now. You'll go back and look. My first ever episode about the RFinder Android HT was episode 60 back in October of 2016. It's about a year and a half ago. And since then, episode 70 in December 2016, I did a review of the H1 device. And then in March of 2017, about a year ago, I did a comparison between the H1 and the M1. Now this one's going to be comparing the M1 and the K1, the new K1. So I don't have an H1 anymore. I did my comparison video between the H1 and the M1, and then I sold my H1 as a used device. And I'm probably going to sell one of these two at the end of this video, but I'm not going to tell you which one quite yet. So the K1 runs there at the time of this recording. There was a brand new version of the custom ROM that was just released. So it is currently running where did it go? Right there. 12.5. RFinder Custom ROM version 12.5. And from day one, it has run Android version 6.0. Okay, so it runs the same version as the M1 does. Both of them run 6.0. Both of them will let you put in a SD card, at least 64 gigabytes, if not 128. I don't have a 128 gigabyte micro SD card to try in these phones, but I do have a 32 gig, and it works fine in both of them. And Bob tells me that a 64 gig will also work. I can't remember if I've ever asked him about a 128. Someone on Facebook one time said that they got a 128 to work. Hopefully that's true. I've never tried it myself, so don't quote me on that. I don't know. But you can see the differences in screen sizes here, okay? So this phone, this M1, is larger. It's got a, well, the antenna's about, the antenna on the M1 is a touch taller, just barely though. Just barely taller. But this one, you can see it's got a larger screen. It's not as thick. The M1 is not as, this is the M1 here. This is the K1. The K1's thicker because it's got the battery on the back of it, while the M1 battery goes in the inside of the phone. This one actually attaches to the back of it, and I'll show you that here in a second. But you can see that the screen on the M1 is bigger than the screen on the K1. For that reason, I think I'm probably going to sell this K1. I don't like the smaller screen. A lot of you will like the smaller screen. A lot of you think this phone is too bulky. Understood. I think the phone is bulky also. But I like having the larger screen. That's my personal preference. There's nothing wrong with the screen on this one. It's same resolution, same response, everything. It's just fine. I just prefer the bigger screen myself. The other thing, and the thing that I think may kind of bite you in the butt on this one, the K1 has a, where'd it go? There it is. 4,500 milliamp hour battery. Now the M1 has a 5,500 milliamp hour battery, and you wouldn't think that it would make that big of a difference. And perhaps the battery I got on this one was foobarred. I don't know. But the battery, but if I take this phone off of the charger at like 7:30, 8 o'clock in the morning, my normal time to wake up, if I take this phone off the charger, it'll usually be dead by 6 in the evening, 5:30, 6, 6:30, somewhere in that neck of the woods, maybe 7 in the evening. And I use the crap out of my phone. I'm on it all day long, okay? But I do the same thing when I was carrying this one, and this thing would last 2 days, you know, just easily. So it's possible that the battery I got on this one is not up to snuff. Some of you may have purchased the K1, and you may be like, my battery lasts for 3 days. Good. That may be fine. And that's something I need to ask Bob about. I've talked to him about this phone extensively, and I keep forgetting to ask him about it. I did mention to him that the battery doesn't last very long. And he didn't really... Oh, somebody on DMR. He didn't really have... Well, I mentioned it to him. I didn't ask him about it. So he didn't have a response to that, but I didn't ask him to respond to that. So the other thing is, if you've ever gotten one of those Lido mounts that I've talked about in the past, where you can clip the belt of your M1 onto the Lido mount so you can have it as a mount in your car, the belt clip on the K1 is larger than the belt clip on the M1. Go figure, okay? The phone is smaller and lighter. It's also doesn't weigh as much. But the belt clip on the K1 is larger. So it doesn't fit in my Lido mount, so I don't have anywhere to mount it in the car. Go figure. Who knows about that? It does have, you can say that the M1 up there has the channel selection knob, which actually, it's not a channel selector knob, it's a volume selector knob. We turn this here, and I think you can program that in the phone. But you turn this here, and you see the volume indicator go up and down. I can switch it to that volume. And it's controlling the radio volume. There's a way to program this knob in the radio, but this one has two knobs. The volume, the knob on the right, as you're looking at it, works the volume. The knob on the left works is actually a channel selector knob. So you can go into your memory channels in the RFinder app or in the PTT app and change channels with the channel selector knob in the K1. Also, there's up and down buttons right here that control your volume on the K1. Power button's right there, and the push-to-talk button is orange. Push-to-talk button's solid black on this one. The olive drab version of this phone that I had for a while, I have too many of these in case you didn't know. The olive drab version that I had also had black buttons. So the orange PTT, that's kind of a nice feature because you can always see, oh yeah, there's a PTT. It's easy, a little bit easier to see. This button over here, I don't know what it does. I've never tried to program it, never looked at it in software, don't know. It does nothing by default. Here's one of the really cool things about the K1, a desk charger. Now, the connector on the side of both of these phones is the same. In fact, I don't think I've ever opened my K1 programming cable, or charging cable, I should say. It's not a programming cable. But the magnetic charging cable for the M1 is the exact same charging cable for the K1. So when I'm in the car using my Google Maps or something on this device, I just have the USB magnetic cable programmed into the side of it. But at night, it goes into desk charger, which is something really cool because the battery's on the outside of the device, like I said a minute ago. And so there's contacts actually on the battery. The battery on this device is on the inside. There's a door right here where the battery goes inside of the device. So you can't have, even if the battery had contacts on the back of it the way that this one does, it wouldn't be accessible because it's enclosed within the device. So there's your desk charger, and the coolest part about it, it's just a standard USB on the other end. It's not a wall charger. It's not a cigarette lighter plug, so you can plug this into your car. Okay, I have a high amperage 5-port USB charger on my dresser in my bedroom that has it came with 5 USB cables that are all micro USB on the end for like Android devices, and I change those out. I charge my Fitbit watch on it. I charge my Kindle device on it, which actually is micro USB. And I just removed one of the cables and plugged this desk charger directly into my high amperage charger, and it works perfectly. Charges up pretty quick too. I've never really timed it. Maybe an hour and a half from dead, because like I said, this thing dies on me in the evening. So when I pop on there, hour and a half, maybe a couple hours at the most, something like that. So other than that, you know, it's pretty much the same darn phone as the M1. Same operating system, same ROM, same features. Just the biggest part about it is that it's a smaller screen. It's a smaller form factor, which means it has a smaller screen and smaller battery, and I personally prefer the larger screen. Okay? Rumor has it that there's a new device coming. And I don't listen to rumors. I start rumors. I don't listen to rumors. But there's a new device coming that'll be some kind of in between this one and that one. Don't know anything about it. Haven't seen it. Don't know what the model. Watch this. Watch this show, and I'll have it up there. In fact, I promise you guys something. When a new RFinder comes out, I'm going to do a review on it a lot quicker than I did. I was kind of lax in this K1. When I saw this K1 online the first time, I thought the form factor was very cool looking, but I didn't realize it was this small. And again, nothing wrong with it being small. I prefer the larger screen. So, that is my take on the comparison to the RFinder K1 and M1. If you want to look at the menus and go through the ROM and everything, it's exactly the same as the M1. You can go back and look at my episode 86 posted on my website, which compares the H1 and M1 devices. You can also look at episode 110, which shows you how to set up a brand new RFinder device from scratch right out of the box. And that's this M1D. It's actually my olive drab one. Yeah, it's my olive drab one that I set up in that video. But the screens, menus, setup features, accounts, everything, operating system, ROM version is all the same in these two devices. So the H1, when it originally came out, was Android 5. So I didn't like Android 5 as much as I do Android 6. And now there's an Android, I think the latest one is actually 8 at this point in time. So I know there's an Android 7 out, but I'm pretty sure Android 8 is out now. And I don't remember all the candy names I have for them. Kit Kat and Heath Bar and Marshmallow or whatever the heck they are. I don't remember which is. I could Google it and find. I don't care. I look at the numbers. So these are both 6.0. 7.0 is out, not on these devices. 8.0, I'm pretty sure there's an 8.0 out right now. I have not checked with Bob to see if these are upgradable, but there are updates to the custom ROM that he has being done constantly. So go into the, if you go in here, go into the settings menu. Okay, scroll down to the bottom, go to About Phone, System Update, and go through Remote Updates and check and do a version check on your device, and it will come down and will tell you, hey, there's a new version. You download it and install it. It's very quick. I just did this one. In fact, it's going through an incremental update now. This one's on 11.9, but 12.5 is available for it, and I'm about to update this one to 12.5. So those are the RFinder devices. As most of you know, I really like this device. It's a device I believe in. If all of you yahoos out there on Facebook that have nothing constructive to say about anything, you know, if it wasn't for my amateur radio pages and groups that I'm in, I probably would have closed my Facebook account a long time ago. People on Facebook can be very toxic, and no one buys a device anywhere, takes it home, sets it up, enjoys it, likes it, loves it, and talks about it on Facebook. For every one person you see that might do that, you got about 150 people that have something bad to say about a product. So there's not really any both side reviews on Facebook. Everyone either hates it or they're silent about it. So don't believe everything you read on Facebook. There's some bad press that this thing has got on Facebook. Guess what? I have carried this thing as my personal carry device for about the last year and a half, almost 2 years. Okay, between this one, the green olive drab one I had, and this K1, which I've been carrying the last couple months. I like it. If I didn't like it, I would review it and say, yeah, it's cool. I don't really care to keep it. I'm going to sell it. And I've done that with other devices. Not phones, but other radios, other amateur radio stuff I've done. It's like, yeah, I like this radio, but yeah, I'm going to get rid of it. I don't care to keep it for myself. I like this device. I believe in it. I think it's good. Yes, it does have some bugs, but every bug that you find and you tell Bob about on Facebook, he fixes it. I mean, this thing was on like version 10.2 when I got it. It's on 12.5 now, and I've only had it for 2 months. So, well, I've only been using it for 2 months. So, anyway, that's my rant. It's a good device. I know a lot of people out there. There's a Facebook group for RFinder users, and there's a lot of people out there who are happy with it just like I am. So 73 guys, thank you for watching. Check out my website, livefromthehamshack.tv. Subscribe to me on YouTube. Check me on Twitter and Instagram, both at hamradio, the number 2, DOT0. Hamradio2, dot spelled out 0. 73, and see you next time.
This has been Ham Radio 2.0, a YouTube production by KC5HWB. Visit our website at www.livefromthehamshack.tv. Please also stop by our Facebook page at fb.me/hamradio2. Be sure and subscribe here on YouTube to keep up with all the new videos that are posted nearly every Monday. 73s everyone, and thanks for watching.